Josh, so look, purification's nice, right? But it's nice after the purification. Then it's nice. But the purification process itself, that can be messy. And it is, because you're purifying yourself of these poisons. These, when we constantly watch PMO or porn, and we're constantly masturbating, it's changing our chemistry. You know what I noticed when I started this a long time ago? My smell changed. I mean, there's a bunch of things that I noticed that was beneficial, but it's coming to me now because I think I want to make a point somehow about how our chemistry gets disturbed when we're doing these poisons. When you're watching stuff that's just taking you into a dark place in your mind, that changes your chemistry. This whole life's a chemistry experience. Peace, serenity, those are certain higher level secretions that are, you can say, endocrine glands release, the pineal gland and other glands that really, they're full of drugs. You got to understand this body's a drug manufacturing plant, and it has more more powerful chemistry than anything you're going to find in plant form. It's just a matter of, does it get released? Usually these especially these higher, very joyful chemistries, they stay locked in our glands. They don't get released. But peace, serenity, joy, that's secretions. That's chemistry that then we get to experience via our emotional body. Well, the opposite can happen too. When we're watching stuff that we shouldn't, and when we're losing our semen all the time, and our mind is just it's caught up in things that just low level, dark, negative things, that has an effect on our chemistry, on our inner chemistry. And so what I want to say is this: when I started preserving my semen, I noticed I smelled better. I had like a natural scent, like those antlers. When they give off that scent, the female antlers, they come running. So, and I was wondering, like, why do I smell like I smelled pretty good? I smelled better than, you couldn't get that kind of smell via any cologne or even natural stuff, essential oils or whatever. You can't get this inner, the organic perfume that comes when our chemistry's balanced. I had a girl that always used to compliment me. Girls like smell, in case you didn't know. You notice how they always smell everything? They're buying a shampoo or conditioner or anything. They just smell it. They like smell. So if you smell good, they're going to like you. So that's what I'm trying to say. when you start retaining your semen, all these debaucherous consequences, negative consequences that we've accumulated, these poisons via our mindset and our actions that we did for so long, we got to undo that. And it's poison. There's certain poisons we have to purge. It doesn't mean it's not all physical poisons. It's energetic poisons, emotional poisons. So it's a broad term when I'm saying poisons. So this purging, this purifying, it's a little messy, and it's not going to feel good. Because see, any habit or drug addiction that people do, or even pill, that there's some really heavy addictive pharmaceutical drugs out there people are addicted to. A lot of these tranquilizers and psychotropics and, Xanax and antidepressants and stuff, like that stuff. You start to try to get off that, you're going to have trouble. So taking all these different addictions and things we do, they bury our feelings. They bury our emotions. That's why we take them, because we can't handle life without some crutch, without some kind of, escape mechanism. So what's going to happen when we stop that? All that stuff that we've suppressed and buried, it's going to start coming up. There's no way around it. You got to just deal with that. God will help you though. If you're really ready to step into the fullness of your being, God will, you'll have some support, and he'll send you to certain people and things that can help support you. I keep talking about these 12-step meetings and people should go to them online, Sex Addicts Anonymous and Sex Porn Addicts Anonymous, and you just find one that you relate to, and then people there will understand because they go through the same process. So that's a good idea to do if you need some extra support, because this stuff can get heavy, and it can take a while. I saw a comment, the guy was sharing his benefit and his joy of now how he feels. He's come back into a semblance of balance. But the key thing he said was it took a couple years. He said something like, finally, after 2 years, I'm like, I'm experiencing like my natural state now. And that's the thing. You see, it can take a while. We don't realize the damage we're doing when we're doing it. You only find that out when you stop doing it. When we're stuck in that dark vortex, we're so numb we don't feel anything. We're not aware of anything. We're just wanting the next hit, the next dopamine hit. So we don't realize how kind of messed up we are until we experience the contrast, which is when we stop doing it. But this all these side effects, because people write and ask, is it normal? Yeah, it's normal. You can experience, they're like opposite spectrum here. Like you can experience really fatigue or depressed or low energy, or you can experience the opposite, restless, anxiety, insomnia, and then everything in between. Or you can experience one side for a little while and then it can change into the other side. That's just proof that your body's going through this, you can say, this spiritual detox to help rebalance itself. Like you got to do that. There's, any addict or alcoholic that quit their drug of choice goes through that. If you talk to them, they're going to tell you, yeah, man, it was messy getting off. Usually, there's some, they just quit and that's it. But that's usually not the case. So don't compare yourself to them. If you're feeling these side effects and these consequences, then you got to put up with that for a little bit. And if you relapse, it's okay. You don't go back to square one. What's lower? Square zero? Is that even anyway? Relapse is part of the game. Not everybody just puts their drug down, which in this case, we're talking about dopamine. That's the drug. Not everybody just puts that down and then never does it again. Relapse is kind of part of the deal sometimes. So you chill. You commit to this process, whatever it takes. I've said before, the best attitude to have is I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be free of this. And if I live my whole life and never be free and I die trying, hooray, I've did it. I did the best I could do. You got to have that attitude. Otherwise, your mind will come in and beat you up. Oh, man, I can't do this. I just don't have enough strength. That keeps you stuck. All right? You do the best you can, and if you relapse, you accept that. And then you keep doing the best you can, and you'll make it. With that attitude, you'll make it. And you ask some higher power to help you if you feel like you need some power. Because there's a power out there, in here, everywhere, that's much greater than the mind power. We're too used to just depending on our own human power. We think that's it, our mind power. We think that's all there is. There's a power. What about the power that created the mind and created this whole virtual reality machine and sustains it, whether we realize it or not? Where do we get the power to use our mind power? We got to find that power behind all the powers. That power, that can do anything. And then that's also a process, And so this is how we change our life. We start shifting our life. Like, what's important here? Chasing goals and all this stuff, or finding this greater power and letting that power control our life and reveal to us what's best for us. It's like we give our life up after a certain point. We're like, I don't want to manage my life anymore. I don't do a good job. God or spirit or universe, can you manage it for me? You put me here. I'm sure you can manage it. I know you have been managing it the whole time. I've been imagining that I've been managing it, but now I'm really ready to let you manage it. And you start to feel how that feels. Intuition starts guiding you instead of your mind. This is the power. If we have this power, you'll be free of any addiction that in your heart you want to be free of. And you're not gonna maybe the first, there'll be some time where you're a little like on edge, like you need to be careful because you might relapse. But after there's a true character change, a true spiritual shift in your perception and consciousness, you're good. You're good. You're on another level. You're seeing through different eyes. You're not looking at a woman objectively and then that arouses you and then you go into sexual fantasy or porn or whatever. You're not there anymore. The mind can't produce that though. This higher power has to produce that. It just needs our willingness and our surrender to admit that we can't produce that. And we have to want it. Those who aren't done yet, playing around, you're not done yet. I wasn't done until I was done, so I understand that too. There's no hypocrisy here. All right, let me know if that helped you. Take care.